Ask just about any law enforcement officer and they will tell you that this isn't a career, it's a calling. We do this because we care about our community and are committed to helping people. In the best of times, being a law enforcement officer isn't an easy job. In a year with a global pandemic, nationwide protests, local gang violence, and calls to reduce funding for law enforcement agencies, it's been even more difficult. And yet, despite all the hardships during these past 12 months, the 2,500 men and women of the Orange County Sheriff's Office rose to many unforeseen challenges and thrived in 2020. Last year, we created a new behavioral response unit, arrested more than 100 gang members, updated our policy regarding the release of body-worn camera footage, and continued our ongoing effort to engage with our community. And I'm happy to report that overall crime in Orange County was down 18% in 2020. All of this was accomplished during the COVID-19 pandemic, which has taken the lives of more than 400,000 Americans. Among them, more law enforcement officers nationwide than all other causes combined. In the early days of the pandemic, the Orange County Sheriff's Office mobilized its medical emergency response team to handle calls with the known coronavirus threat. That unit also ensured that any deputy's equipment that was contaminated could be sterilized and safe for use. The agency emergency operations center was activated for months. Using our social media platforms, we were able to ensure that the residents of Orange County had access to all the pertinent information about the pandemic. We were also able to show all the ways in which OCSO was working hard to keep everyone safe. One of our most important missions is engaging with our community to build trust. The pandemic made it difficult for us to continue a series of community barbecues or other events. Instead, we pooled the money that would have been spent on those events and sponsored multiple food giveaways, helping hundreds of families make it through some difficult times. Over the summer and into the fall, Orange County saw an increase in gang violence. There were some very violent gangs at work here that were heavily armed and not afraid to use violence and didn't think twice about who they would kill. From early July to early August, there were at least 4 shootouts in public places. And in late September, in one 24-hour period, 2 innocent children in our community, 14-year-old Joshua Atkinson and 3-year-old Daquan Felix Jr., were gunned down in acts of targeted gang violence. We know there are people out there who have information about these crimes, and detectives are looking for possible tips. The Orange County Sheriff's Office established a gang task force in late summer, and through our partnerships with the Orlando Police Department and the FBI, OCSO alone made about 150 arrests and took more than 75 illegal guns off our streets. I am proud to say that gang violence has been significantly and dramatically reduced. I am committed to transparency, and in that spirit, we have created a new policy that addresses the release of body-worn camera video in deputy-involved shootings and other critical incidents. I took input from our Citizens Advisory Committee and consulted with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and all the chiefs in Orange County law enforcement agencies. And we created a policy that balances the interests of protecting active investigations while facilitating OCSO's commitment to transparency. When a deputy-involved shooting is being investigated by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, body-worn camera video will be released once all the initial interviews are complete, but no more than 30 days after the incident. There may be extraordinary circumstances, like an incident such as the Pulse nightclub shooting, in which that can't happen in 30 days. After seeing some national incidents involving people in mental health crisis, I asked what the Sheriff's Office could do to prevent some of these tragedies from happening. Even though many deputies are trained in crisis intervention, they are not experts in helping people who are experiencing a mental health crisis. My staff researched best practices nationwide, and we settled on a co-responder model, pairing mental health clinicians with deputies. We have partnered with Devereaux Advanced Behavioral Health, and in December, we launched the Behavioral Response Unit. Every single day, we receive calls about residents in mental health crisis, and on average, the Orange County Sheriff's Office responds to 8,000 mental health calls for service each year. The hope is that clinicians will use their training and all of their background to help people de-escalate and calm down, and we can get them the help they need to come to a peaceful resolution. We want to see how the pilot program works, and we want it to be successful. And if it is successful, we will look to expand it. We are committed to helping our community in any way we can, and that doesn't always mean showing up after a 911 call. Last year, we started a community crime prevention grant program, which will award a total of $100,000 to community groups and nonprofit agencies with programs that support our crime prevention mission. Nearly 50 groups applied, and we hope to announce the grant recipients soon. As an agency, we distributed more than 1,000 boxes of food to Orange County families in 2020. Our deputies donated thousands of dollars to make Christmas special for children in foster care and families in need. And we managed, in a very difficult year, to offer up some fun for our community by sponsoring a Halloween trunk or treat event and a Christmas lights drive-through celebration. Just seeing the smiles on the faces of the children and their families brought us so much joy. In one of my favorite collaborations of 2020, OCSO, in partnership with Make-A-Wish Foundation and several other agencies, granted 10-year-old Gage Pike his wish to become a robot superhero. Thanks again, Gage, for saving the day. We look forward to a time when it's safe for deputies to play a pickup game of basketball in the street, and we welcome families to community barbecue to share a meal and interact with members of our agency. I'm confident that day is coming soon. Finally, I want to commend those deputies who went above and beyond the call of duty to serve the residents and visitors of Orange County. Whether it was pulling a young father out of a burning vehicle, talking down a suicidal man on a bridge, or making a pinky swear with a teen in crisis. Thank you for your dedication to this agency. I say this often, but it bears repeating. I am proud to be your sheriff, and I'm proud of the brave men and women of the Orange County Sheriff's Office. With 2020 now behind us, I look forward together with our community to building on our successes in 2021.